Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Don't Miss This on Paris Underground Radio. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity, with a quick roundup of the best of what's happening in Paris this week. This week's edition of Don't Miss This covers the week of Sunday, January 16th through Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. This week, we finally get back into the swing of things. After a general easing out of 2021 and into 2022, there are finally a lot of fun and interesting things for us to dive into. Here at Paris Underground Radio, we like to celebrate knowledge. The nerdier, the better. And this first exhibit is handcrafted for my very own brand of nerdiness. So if you're like me and you love theater and film, you're in for a treat. From now through April 16th, the Jérôme Seydoux-Pathé Foundation will celebrate the link between the Comédie Française, the oldest active theater company in the world, and cinema, with their exhibit Comédie Française et Cinéma, Aller-Retour, 1908 to 2022. This immersive exhibit spans 3 floors and will combine more than 150 photos, 120 film clips, 15 posters, many unpublished archives, stage costumes, and models of sets. It will celebrate directors, filmmakers, actors, and actresses, delve into plays that became films, scripts that were inspired by or adapted from the Comédie Française repertoire, film directors who directed plays, French actors who starred in film actors who acted with the theater company, and so much more. In addition to this exhibit, you can watch a cycle of silent films in the Cine concerts at the Foundation, as well as a number of films about the Comédie Française screened at Les Fauvettes Cinema, which is just across from the Foundation. Comédie Française et Cinéma Aller-Retour 1908 to 2022 will run through April 16th, and more information can be found at fondation-jeromeseydoux-pathé.com. That's FONDATION-JEROMESEYDOUX-PATHE.com. If you love circuses but hate all that pesky animal cruelty that goes along with them, you may enjoy Cirque Mondial 100% Humain, the first 100% human-only circus, arriving now for the first time in Paris. While you won't find lions being tamed, you will find acrobats, trapeze artists, clowns, magicians, and other internationally renowned performers. This human-only circus will perform under a big top tent in the 12th arrondissement on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays from now through January 30th. The show is around 2 hours and a valid health pass is required. For more information, including ticketing, please visit cirque-mondial.com. That's CIRQUE-MONDIAL.com. Did I ever tell you about the time that I worked as a dresser for Men's Fashion Week in Bryant Park in New York City when I was an intern at a casting agency? Well, I basically got to help male models strip down, dress, and undress super quickly in a whirl of fabric and glitter. I mention that now not only because it's a very fun memory to relive, but also because from Tuesday, January 18th through Sunday, January 23rd, it's Paris Men's Fashion Week. Despite current COVID travel restrictions, design houses like Lanvin, Valentino, Balmain, Issey Miyake, and more are expected to present their new collections. Again, due to COVID restrictions, as of right now, there will be 17 physical shows, 29 physical presentations, and 30 digital-only events. Among those who are still going ahead with in-person shows are Louis Vuitton, Hermès, Kenzo, Rick Owens, and Dior Men. In a moving tribute, Louis Vuitton will also present the final collection of the late Virgil Abloh, who passed away in November 2021. For more about Men's Paris Fashion Week, please head to fhcm.paris. I think I mentioned this before, but most of 2021 was a blur to me. As such, I have a really hard time remembering what I watched last year. If you have the same problem, or were avoiding cinemas for more obvious reasons, here is your opportunity to catch up. From Wednesday, January 19th through Tuesday, January 25th, 450 movie theaters throughout France will participate in the Télérama Festival 2022. The 24th edition of this festival showcases the best films of 2021 for only €3.50 per screening. Among the 16 2021 films on offer, you'll find Dune, The Worst Person in the World, First Cow, and Nomadland. In addition, you can watch one of 6 films that won't be released until later this year in France. Among the previews, you'll find Come On by Mike Mills, Un Monde by Laura Wandel, and The Young Lovers by Corinne Tardieu. The Tellurama Festival 2022 runs from January 19th through the 25th, with around 30 cinemas in and around Paris participating. For the full program and ticketing details, please head to festivals.tellurama.fr. That's festivals.tellurama.fr. From Wednesday, January 19th to Monday, April 18th, you can discover the work of Gaston Paris, who, despite being both a talented photographer and a diligent reporter, is still largely unknown. The exhibit Gaston Paris Reporter, La photographie en spectacle, or Gaston Paris Reporter, Photography on Display, will be held at the Centre Pompidou and showcases the work of a photographer influenced by surrealism and the social fantasy of his time. He lived from 1905 to 1964. The exhibit is also an homage to different mediums of photography. You'll find around 50 vintage prints, 25 thematic plates illustrated by contact prints, 50 magazine reproductions, more than 100 late prints made in the 1960s and 1970s, and the projection of 100 digitized negatives. Gaston Paris Reporter, La photographie en spectacle, will run from Wednesday, January 19th through Monday, April 18th, and more information can be found at centrepompidou.fr. That's CENTREPOMPIDOU.fr. If all that talk of Fashion Week got you thinking, you may be interested in the work of another photographer. Dominique Dieuleau is known for photographs taken at the world's greatest fashion shows. Beginning on Thursday, January 20th, you can visit Instant du Mode, or Fashion Moments, at the Remède Galerie. Dominique's eye often gravitates to the little details, a belt, a button, a color, and those details will be highlighted in this gallery showing. Dominique does not crop her images, instead reworking them layer after layer until they nearly resemble a painting. With a focus on fabric, you'll discover archival photographs from the shows of designers like Jean-Paul Gaultier, Marc Lebien, Balmain, Madeleine André, Thierry Mugler, Hermès, Junko Shimada, Papi Moreni, Maurizio Galante, Issey Miyake, Comme des Garçons, and so many more, all taken by Dominique Dieuleau. In her own words, quote, "To show that a Chanel button is like a jewel because of the fabric, the pleats of Versace, the embroideries of Christian Lacroix, the lace of Valentino, the pearls imprisoned in a square of silk organza by Maurizio Galante. I remember Valentino himself held the clothes for me so that I could photograph them. People would come up to me backstage and ask what I was doing. No photographer was doing macro photography for details." End quote. Instant de Mode will run from January 20th through March 3rd and is free to attend. For more information, please head to remede-galerie.com. That's remedes-galerie.com. Let's head back now to the Centre Pompidou for Hors Piste, the Contemporary Art Festival. Now in its 17th edition, the Hors Piste Festival, which translates roughly as outside the box, aims to highlight important current events through contemporary art, and this year's theme is Les Âges de l'Image. In the face of the global pandemic, COVID-19 revealed how two invisible populations were mirrored in each other: the elderly, who are often ignored, and the young, whose studies, jobs, and social lives have been suspended. Both groups were suddenly overexposed and forced into silence. Les Âges de l'Image questions how we fight against this double erasure. For 2 weeks, this free festival will offer numerous events, from documentary to fiction film screenings, conferences to live performances, and exhibits to performing arts. Hors Piste 2022 will run from January 20th to February 6th and is free to attend. For more information, please visit centrepompidou.fr. That's centrepompidou.fr. If all you really want to do is curl up with a good book, I'm going to encourage you to uncurl just a little and make your way to the Nuit de la Lecture, or reading nights, which run from Thursday, January 20th to Sunday, January 23rd. This year's theme is Aimons toujours, aimons encore, or Let's always love, let's love again, in tribute to Victor Hugo's injunction. Created as a way to stoke a love of reading, this free festival is dedicated to books and their authors and is held in bookstores, libraries, museums, theaters, schools, and other places of cultural note. Both in person and digitally, you'll find musical readings, theater performances, treasure hunts, escape games, writing workshops and book discoveries, literary tastings, meetings with writers, and much more for readers of any age. There are over 3,500 events worldwide as part of the Nuit de la Lecture, but highlights here in Paris include, at the National School of Fine Arts, a marathon reading aloud of Homer's Odyssey by a host of writers, actors, and artists. At La Conciergerie, readings of texts related to the 40th anniversary of the abolition of the death penalty by school children, and then essential love stories from the Middle Ages by actors. At the Théâtre de la Ville, Soleil de Nuit, an evening around erotic literature and music with 10 actors and 4 musicians. Or at the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, a reading of Who Remembers the Sea by Mohammed Dib, and a reading of Letters to His Mother by Charles Baudelaire by 2 actors from the Comédie Française. Nuit de la Lecture will run from Thursday, January 20th to Sunday 23rd and is free to attend. For more information, including the full program, please visit nuitdelalecture.culture.gouv.fr. That's NUIDLAlecture.culture.gouv.fr. As a side note, I host a second podcast on the Paris Underground Radio Network called Storytime in Paris, which features interviews with authors with a French connection. The authors also treat us to readings from their books. In our Halloween episode, I interviewed the channeled spirit of Victor Hugo, which was a lot of fun. If you're interested in hearing that interview or any of the others from season 1, please head to parisundergroundradio.com/storytimeinparis. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. And we're back. Do you have room for one more photographer this week? Of course you do. Beginning on Friday, January 21st, you can discover the work of young Congolese photographer Pamela Talitsu, winner of the 2020 Dior Prize for Photography and Visual Arts for Young Talents. In an exhibit called Pamela Talitsu Face to Face, hosted by the Maison Européenne de la Photographie, Pamela's show questions the way women are regarded in her country. Born in 1994 in Bukavu in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Pamela grew up in Goma, a region torn by civil war and known for the scourge of sexual violence perpetrated against women. In this exhibit, she highlights the dual identity of Congolese women. One, of the victimized and demeaning representation conveyed by the press, and 2, of women fighters struggling against social injustice. Pamela Talitsu Face to Face will be on display from January 21st through March 13th. For more information, please visit mep-fr.org. Did I ever tell you about the time I took a bus from the south of France all the way to Prague and the only video they had on board was an ABBA album that they played on a loop for like a day and a half? I mention this now, not because it's incredibly triggering as far as memories go, but because on Friday, January 21st, and then again on March 17th, Mamma Mia will be available in Cine Karaoke XXL at the Grand Rex. That's right. You can perform karaoke along with L'Écran Pop screening of Mamma Mia for more than 2 hours. The lyrics will be broadcast on the screen during the film, and you'll also have the opportunity to win gifts and prizes, including one for Best 70s Costume. Mamma Mia in Cine Karaoke XXL will be at the Grand Rex on January 21st and March 17th. I will absolutely not be there, but if you're interested, please head to ecranpop.com. That's lecranpop.com. If belting out Mamma Mia at the top of your lungs isn't hyper enough for your weekend, you may prefer the Hyper Weekend French Radio Festival, Radio France's first contemporary music festival, which runs from Friday, January 21st to Sunday, January 23rd, 2022. You'll find more than 30 concerts thrown by more than 60 artists, showcasing the French music scene. You'll discover new works like the Pop Symphonique concert by Clara Luciani. Remember her? We last encountered her. She was turning on the Christmas lights on the Champs-Élysées. Clara will perform surrounded by the Orchestre Philharmonique de Radio France. Or Kitty Smile, who will unveil an exclusive house music creation with a 30-singer vocal ensemble. In addition to concerts and DJ sets, you'll also find musical masterclasses and exhibitions. The Hyper Weekend French Radio Festival will run from January 21st through the 23rd. For more information, including a full lineup, please head to hyperweekendfestival.fr. Last but not least, let's take a look at a new play created specifically for Citico at la Cité de l'Économie, which is in the former Banque de France. While housing a play in a museum in a former bank is unusual enough, this play, titled Les Surfeurs de l'Économie, or Economy Surfers, is designed to explain the history of economic thought. This one-hour show features two enthusiastic economics teachers, Angie and Nono, who are betting on surfing the history of the economy, or more precisely, on the history of economic thought, from Aristotle to Plato to John Maynard Keynes. Les Surfeurs de l'Économie is part of a new season of Citico entitled Virtuel Réel, or Virtual Real, which is meant to link digital arts and the economy and question the line between the material and the virtual. Les Surfeurs de l'Économie will run from January 22nd to February 6th and last about an hour. After each performance, you'll have a chance to speak with the actors about the show. For more information, please head to citeco.fr. That's citeco.fr. Well, that's it for this week's roundup of Don't Miss This. I hope this week treats you well. If you enjoyed this roundup, please tell a friend. If you venture out to any of the events mentioned in this podcast, please let me know and tag Paris Underground Radio on Facebook or Instagram. And if you think you have an event we should know about, please feel free to email me at hello@parisundergroundradio.com with the subject line, Don't Miss This. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity. You can find me on all socials at Jennyphoria, JENNYPHORIA. Don't Miss This is produced by me for Paris Underground Radio. For more on Don't Miss This and shows like it, please go to parisundergroundradio.com. Thank you so much for listening, and happy exploring!